How are you guys? Angus94 here. Just going to show you a quick tutorial on how I did the linkages on the 34 coupe. I've got the main engine here in blue. All the linkages are all been detached from that. But this one here that I've highlighted, it's in a pre-performed position for me because I want to use it for that position in a moment. So down the bottom here on the animation bar, you can see that I've already got it set to 20 frames. It's already turned on. So now with the first part, I highlight the part I want to highlight or animate, and I'll set the first reference key. So now I'll move the bar across to position 10, and this is where I'm going to utilize that position of that other linkage. So I'll move this down here, rotate it slightly, then move it so that it aligns with the linkage and it still looks like it's disappearing inside the cable. Then I'll set another point like so. Then I'll move the animator across to the end. Then I'll move this back inside here and set the last point. And that's that done. That's the first part done. So as you can see, that's going up. So now we need to do the linkage for the second part. So I'll put this back now to its normal position, which we line up with the head over there on here, and with the ball on the end of that short linkage there. That's the accelerated close position. So now we set another point, because that's the highlighted part. So we click there, we move this across to here. Now we go back, and the main linkage we rotate to here, set another reference point, another reference key, move the linkage to the end of its animation, and we bring this around to line up there. Then we click that reference point. So there we have the first two parts animated together. And when I lift this one up, you'll see on the engine down here how they work together. Nice and easy, very realistic. Okay, so now we do the next lot. So now these short linkages here, they're just going to go from left to right, or right to left to be honest. So now we set up our home point, a first reference point, which is there. So now we can bring this all the way to the end, and this one we take all the way to that, so it lines up with the linkage there. Then we set, that's our home point. So now we have all those linkages moving together, all animated perfectly, just like that. So now it's time for the carby. We'll highlight this one. We're at the start of our sequence. We want to have a reference point to there. So now we move the animation bar to the end, and then we rotate that linkage so that this point here matches up with the end of the short linkage. And we bring that around, which is near enough to there for this point, for this exercise anyway. We set our last point, so that one's done. So now that's all going reasonably good. So now we need to select the linkage of the carby at the back, like so. We've got our start position, set a reference key, take the linkage all the way there, and rotate this one around to a similar position as the other one. Set our last reference point, and then we can bring them back. And then when you have a look at the final setup, see the linkage is all in place here. And that's how the linkages are animated. It looks like the cable's going inside the outer cable. The only thing is that the spring's not working, but that's not a real big issue. So that's that part of it. And all the linkages are all set up down here as wing components. So now we just go to here, we export. And that's taken a time. Probably because I've got OBS going as well. So now we want to export our first animation, which will be into here, 34 Chev, Hillborn. So that will be Wing 1, FBX, Animation, Bake, and just check all the last units, all the last bits of detail, scale of 1 in meters, and wires up, and that's it, that's that one. And then you go to the next one, and then you, actually we should have done that wrong. It should have been 1. Highlight that again. Yes, I'll override it. Do it right time this time. And all the rest hasn't changed. So now we want to go to wing. That's main linkage or wing 2. So we export that one. Like that. Wing 2. Bake the animation. Okay. That's wing 3. And that's pretty much the process you go through. So I'll make that wing 3.